Hello.
Sir, Anand sir here.
அக்கா உங்க ஃப்ரெண்ட்ஸ் யாராவது ஜாயின் பண்ணாம இருந்தா ஜாயின் பண்ண சொல்லுங்கப்பா.
Yes, ma'am. Okay. In the last class, we have discussed about dicotyledonous root and monocotyledonous root, and we also discussed the comparison. Okay, the comparison between dicotyledonous root and monocotyledonous root, and how to differentiate dicotyledonous root from monocotyledonous root, and all that we have discussed. So today we'll go with the stem. Okay, we'll go with the stem, that is the dicotyledonous stem, and followed by monocotyledonous stem. So first we'll go with the dicotyledonous stem. Okay, first we'll go with the description, and later we'll go with the explanation with reference to the diagram. Okay, first when you observe this dicotyledonous stem, okay, dicotyledonous stem, the transverse section, the transverse section of a typical young dicotyledonous stem shows the epidermis, shows the epidermis, and next followed by, that is which is the outermost protective layer of the stem, which is the outermost layer of the stem. Okay, and next, that means epidermis, a single layered living parenchymatous cells will form the epidermis. It is the outermost layer of the stem. And next, on the outer surface of this epidermis, it is covered with a thin layer of cuticle. It may be, that is already while we are discussing about the epidermal tissue system, we have said very clearly, the aerial parts of the plant are covered by a protective covering, that is on the surface which is exposed to the environment of the epidermis. It is covered by a waxy layer, that is the cuticle. But that we don't find in case of roots, whether it is a dicot or monocot, we don't find this cuticle. Only in the aerial parts like stem and leaves will find this cuticle. So it is covered by a cuticle. The epidermis on its outer surface, it is having a cuticle. And next, and it may bear trichomes. We'll find trichomes. Trichomes means multicellular outgrowths. Multicellular outgrowths on the stem, we are calling it as trichomes. And a few stomata. So we'll find a single layered thick epidermis. And next, this layer, this epidermis on the outer surface is covered by cuticle, and in some stems will find multicellular outgrowths called trichomes, and will find stomata. A few stomata are also present. Okay, and next, the cells arranged in multiple layers. The cells arranged in multiple layers between epidermis and pericycle constitute the cortex. That means the cell layers present between outer epidermis and inner pericycle. These two, in these two layers, whatever the cell layers that we are observing, all that cell layer together constitute the cortex. Okay, it is called as a cortex. When you observe this cortex, okay, the cortex in case of dicotyledonous stem, especially in a dicotyledonous stem, it is again differentiated into three layers. It is differentiated into three layers. That means it consists of three, okay, are differentiated into three zones, subzones. It consists of three subzones: the outer hypodermis, okay, consists of few layers of collenchymatous cells just below the epidermis. That means, okay, that is, okay, we can say the outermost layer of the cortex, the inner, okay, the layer that is present inner to the epidermis, okay, that layer that is present inner to the epidermis, or we can also say it as the outermost layer of the cortex, which we are calling it as hypodermis. It is a few cell layered thick, and in case of dicotyledonous stems, it is made up of collenchyma. In dicotyledonous plants, okay, this hypodermis is consisting of a collenchyma, okay, which provide mechanical strength to the young stem. Okay, so, okay, when you observe here, okay, the cortex, the all the, okay, that is, we are saying the cortex is divided into three subzones now. So all three subzones generally we call it as a general cortex. General cortex. The general cortex is again subdivided into three zones. The outer layer of the cortex, which is present just below the epidermis towards the inner side, okay, which is consisting of few layers of collenchymatous cells. We are calling it as a hypodermis. Okay, and next, okay, the cortical layers below the hypodermis consist of round, thin-walled parenchymatous cells with a conspicuous intercellular space. That means a large intercellular space. Conspicuous means, okay, clearly visible. That means a large intercellular spaces. Okay, they form the cortical layers or cortex. We can say it as a cortex. Okay, that is the cortex. Okay, so that means the general cortex is divided into hypodermis, cortex, okay, and the third one is the endodermis, the innermost layer. The innermost layer of the cortex or general cortex, we call it as endodermis. Okay, that is what we can see here. So, okay, it is divided into three subzones. The general cortex, the outer layer of the cortex consists of a few layers of collenchymatous cells, and that layer we are calling it as hypodermis. And below the hypodermis, we'll find few layers of parenchymatous cells with large intercellular spaces, and that is called as a cortex. And the innermost layer of the cortex, general cortex, we are calling it as endodermis. When you observe the cells that are present in the endodermis, the cells of the endodermis are rich in starch grains, and the layer is also referred to as a starch sheath. Okay, that means when you observe the endodermis of dicotyledonous plants, okay, dicotyledonous okay stems of okay dicotyledonous stems, okay, we can observe the endodermis. The endodermis is rich in storage of food grains or starch grains. Okay, and so this endodermis is also called as a starch sheath. Is also called as a starch sheath. And next, inner to this starch sheath, pericycle is present. Okay, inner to this sheath is the okay that is present on the inner side of okay pericycle is present on the inner side of the endodermis and above the phloem in the form of semilunar patches of sclerenchyma. Okay, that means when you observe the pericycle, okay, the pericycle is made up of sclerenchyma. Okay, the pericycle consists of sclerenchyma in case of dicotyledonous stems. Okay, this semilunar patches, semilunar means half moon. Okay, half moon shaped arrangement of sclerenchymatous cells are present below the endodermis and above the phloem. Okay, that means in between the endodermis and phloem. Okay, we'll find semilunar patches of sclerenchyma, and this semilunar patches we are calling it as pericycle. Okay, this semilunar patches of sclerenchyma that is present between okay endodermis and phloem, we are calling it as a pericycle. Okay, that is. And next, in between the vascular bundles, there are few layers of radially placed. Radially means transversely, not longitudinally. Transversely, okay, radially placed parenchymatous cells which constitute a medullary rays. So the radially arranged parenchymatous cells between the vascular bundles. In case of dicotyledonous stem, we are calling it as a medullary rays. And next, a large number of vascular bundles are arranged in a ring. Okay, a large number of vascular bundles are arranged in a ring. The ring arrangement of vascular bundles is the characteristic of dicot stem. So if I gave you a stem, a small piece of the stem, only a small piece of the stem of 1 centimeter or 2 centimeters, and I asked you whether it is a dicot stem or monocot stem means, okay, we can easily able to differentiate. Simply take a small section, okay, take a small transverse section of the stem, okay, after staining properly, observe under the microscope. We can observe when you observe the arrangement of vascular bundles, okay, we can easily identify whether it is a dicot or monocot. Why? Because in dicot stem, a large number of vascular bundles are arranged radially in a ring-like structure. But in monocot stem, they are unevenly distributed throughout the cortex or throughout the ground tissue. Okay, here no specific arrangement in case of monocot stem. But in dicot stem, we can observe very clearly the vascular bundles are arranged radially. That means in a circle in the form of which is the characteristic feature of dicot stem, because the dicot stem shows secondary growth because of the presence of that cambium. We can see here each vascular bundle is conjoint. Conjoint means, okay, the xylem and phloem are present on the same radii adjacent to one another. Open type of vascular bundle. That means cambium is present in between the xylem and phloem, and with the endark xylem. What is meant by endark means if the protoxylem is present towards the inner side, that is towards the pith, we are calling it as a endark protoxylem. So each vascular bundle is a conjoint, open, and with the endark protoxylem. With the endark protoxylem. A large number of rounded parenchymatous cells with large intercellular spaces which occupy the central portion of the stem constitute the pith. Okay, that means the central part of the young dicotyledonous stem is occupied by a large number of rounded parenchymatous cells with large intercellular spaces, and this tissue constitutes the pith. So we'll find outer epidermis. Inner to the epidermis, we'll find the cortex or general cortex, and that general cortex is again differentiated into three layers: hypodermis, middle cortex, and the inner endodermis, which is also called starch sheath. And next, inner to the endodermis, we'll find the pericycle. Okay, and next, in between the vascular bundles, radially arranged parenchymatous cells are present, which represents the medullary rays. And the central part of the stem consists of a large number of rounded parenchymatous cells with large intercellular spaces, which constitute the pith. And next, when you observe the vascular bundles, a large number of vascular bundles are present, which are radially arranged in the form of a ring-like structure. And these vascular bundles are described as a conjoint because the xylem and phloem are present on the same radii, and open type because of the presence of cambium in between. Okay, that is a strip of parenchymatous cells in between the xylem and phloem, which we are calling it as a cambium. That's why we are describing it as open type. And the xylem is of endark type. That is, the protoxylem is present towards the inner side, that is towards the pith. And the and metaxylem towards the cambium or phloem. Because in case of stems, the xylem is present towards the inner side, whereas the phloem is present towards the outer side in the vascular bundle, which is the characteristic feature of stem. Okay, that is so. Okay, now with the diagrammatic representation. Okay, when you observe here, okay, this is the this is epidermis. Okay, this is the epidermis. Okay, it is usually single layer thick, made up of parenchymatous cells, so compactly arranged without any intercellular space. And next, when you observe this epidermis on its outer surface, it is covered by a cuticle, a waxy coating called as a cuticle, which makes the stem impervious to water. and protect, okay, and prevents the water loss due to transpiration, and entry, okay, and prevents the entry of pathogenic organisms, microorganisms like virus, bacteria, and fungi. And next, inner to the epidermis will find the hypodermis. This is the hypodermis. It is made up of okay, collenchyma, which will provide mechanical support to the plant body. Okay, and next, inner to the hypodermis will find the cortex. Okay, cortex, that is the layer that is present below the hypodermis. We are calling it as a cortex or cortical cells, cell layers. And below the cortex will find the endodermis, which is parenchyma, which is made up of parenchyma cells, which are rich in starch grains. That's why it is also called starch sheath. And next, inner to the endodermis and okay, above the phloem will find the pericycle, which is sclerenchymatous. Which is made up of sclerenchymatous tissue. And below that we'll find the phloem, and this is xylem. We can see here the protoxylem. Okay, here see, we can see very clear the narrow, okay, the lumen of this protoxylem is narrow, whereas the lumen of this metaxylem is wide. So protoxylem towards the inner side and metaxylem towards the outer side. That's why we are saying it as endark. And between the xylem and the phloem, we can observe the cambium. Okay, this is one vascular bundle. This is another adjacent vascular bundle. In between, we can observe the parenchymatous cells. This is medullary rays. And this is the pith. Okay. Okay, which we can observe very clearly here. Okay. Okay, outer epidermis, next hypodermis, next cortical cells, next endodermis, pericycle. This is pericycle, and next phloem, xylem, in between cambium, and the vascular bundles are arranged parallel to one another. Okay, you can see the enlarged view of a dicotyledonous stem. Okay, here we can see the epidermis. This is epidermis, and collenchymatous hypodermis, and parenchymatous cortex, and this is the endodermis, and this is the pericycle. And next we can see the phloem, only a small portion which is enlarged. Okay, this is the phloem, this is xylem, and this is cambium. We can see here very clearly. Okay, the lumen is very small, but okay, towards the inner side. Okay, this is a protoxylem, and we can see the lumen is very wide. So this is metaxylem. So protoxylem towards the inner side and metaxylem towards the outer side. So because as the protoxylem is present towards the inner side, we are calling it as endark. And next we can observe the phloem and xylem, which are separated by cambium. So open type of vascular bundle, and we can see the xylem and phloem are present on the same radius. So we are calling it as conjoint. So conjoint open type and with endark xylem. Okay, here we can see this is the pith. Oh, sorry. This, okay, the medullary rays. This is medullary rays, and here we can see the pith. So a small portion enlarged for our better understanding. So that means like this. Okay. Okay, you can see. Okay, this portion is enlarged. Only this portion is enlarged and shown. Okay, only a small portion of the dicot stem is enlarged and showing here. Okay, now that one. Okay, so we are observing the different layers in the dicot stem. Okay, that is the typical dicotyledonous stem will show all the characteristic features or all the regions very clearly. Okay, we can observe the epidermis, hypodermis. Okay, and next cortex, endodermis, pericycle, and next phloem, xylem, cambium, medullary rays, and pith. All the tissues we can able to see here. Okay, parenchyma, collenchyma, sclerenchyma, everything. Okay. Okay, that is about this dicotyledonous stem. Anybody is having any doubt?